Hello, people. I just came out of my doctor's office, and there was something that I did in there that I would like to talk to you guys about. It might be beneficial to you, just in case. I was recording on audio the conversation from the moment I went in with the nurse and the doctor. Why? Obviously, this is unique. It's not something I do often. That's what I'm talking about, right? So, why did I do that? There was a problem between the nurse and I in writing. So, and I took care of it to stand for my ground. And I don't know how it might backfire on me. So, when I came today for the first time since that issue, I decided to record our conversation from beginning to the end. Why? Okay. Before I mention the problem, let me tell you something very important that you can learn. Anybody can learn it. And I'll talk about black people also. What is that? One very important thing is to know your position in a situation. What is your position? What is your position? It could be your title. It could be the perception they have of you. You have to analyze to see that what power do I have here? What right do I have here? You have to do that. Very, very important. Okay, when a situation occurs, either you white or black or whatever, situation occurs, there is a leadership, and then there is the employee or the other class, right? The leader and the leadee. There's nothing like leadee. The leader and the one being led. Okay. So when there is a situation, you are the employee and your employer, the supervisor and the worker. Okay, when there is a situation and you are the lower person, like you are the employee versus the employer, you are the worker versus the supervisor, you are at a disadvantage in that situation. Did you hear what I just said? You are at a disadvantage because it's a matter of who they will believe now. Did you hear that? It's a matter of who they will believe in the situation. And naturally, the supervisor more than likely have been there longer, or if the supervisor hasn't been there longer, the fact that the person is a supervisor and you are the worker, or the person is the employer versus the employee, you are at a disadvantage as the employee or as the worker. Because society functions based on your title. Did you hear that? I want to make sure some of you hear that, because I've seen many people who got in trouble because they think that in a workplace or whatever, everybody, excuse my voice, they think that everybody have the same right. That's what is said on paper. But when a situation happens, you say this, and your supervisor said this. You the worker, you say this, and the supervisor said this. You the employee, you say this, and the employer said this. Who do they believe? Or at least in majority of the time, who do they tend to believe? They tend to believe. There's a tension to believe somebody, or there is a potential to believe somebody. Who do they believe? Let me tell you, in case you are confused, they will believe the employer over the employee. They will believe the supervisor over the worker. That's how society functions in majority of the time. So you have to know your position in that situation. What do I mean by that? You, like I'm saying, you are already at a disadvantage to have problem with somebody higher than you. If the problem is two workers, you both are two workers. But the fact that the other person is a supervisor, the person has fulfilled more qualification to be in that position over you. Because if they make the person your supervisor, they're not going to downplay the opinion of that supervisor to your advantage. It generally does not work like that. Okay, so you have to know your position. And your position is what? Is what? Your position in these cases, remember I'm talking to the worker or the employee versus the employer or the supervisor or the manager. I'm talking about the lower class and the upper class, if you want to call it that way. People don't like that expression anymore. It's fine. So they will believe the supervisor's opinion over yours. They will believe the employer work over yours. So you are at a disadvantage. And your position is that you have to prove more. You have to bring the burden of proof more than that supervisor or that employee. You have to protect yourself more than that supervisor or that employee. Otherwise you lose. Because number one, they will say, why would a supervisor, with all his or her qualification, why would the employer, with all his or her qualification or title, just decided to lie on you or to mistreat you? Generally, that's what people think. They'll say, why will he do that? If he said it because it's true. Because you are the lower person anyway. You see what I mean? They won't tell you that, but that's just how you function in general. I'm dragging on it so you can understand my point. So you have to protect yourself. The burden of proof is more on you than on the upper person. Okay. So if you understand that, when you have a situation with a supervisor or an employer, you have to take measures that can prove your opinion rather than depending on he say or she say over your opinion. Because if, in that case, they'll believe the supervisor or the employer over you. Okay, I drag it on long enough so you can get a point. Okay, now, what happened to me and the nurse for me to record when I went in today? Okay, they prescribed me a medication. And the medication was making me very dizzy. The doctor prescribed the medication. It was making me very dizzy. And I reported it to them that, hey, since I've been on this med, I've been extremely dizzy or whatever. And they didn't do anything about it. Okay, so I went online and researched the medication they gave me, the side effects, and all that, and the dosage of that medication. And I find out that the dose they were giving me, my body can't take it. The dose was high. That's why I'm being dizzy. Meaning, the solution will be to reduce the dose, and then I'll be fine. Okay, why the doctor didn't think about that, I don't know. I'm not gonna say he's not qualified, because being a doctor is not an easy task. You have to know so many things, and it can slap off their head or whatever, I don't know. But somehow the doctor didn't think of my symptom of dizziness constantly when I'm under the medication and the dose he gave me to reduce it. He didn't think of that. They were thinking about me coming back to the office and all that, which is not gonna be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month. It might be 2 months or 3 months. And I said, no, I'm extremely dizzy. This could be dangerous for me. So something needs to be done. That's why I went to research in the first place. Well, I always research my medications and my care, because some years ago I learned that you can't trust doctors. You know, they can try their best, but after all, you are the one using the medication. It's your body, it's your life. So my research find out that the medication dose is high. That's why I'm being dizzy. So I decided, please hear me well, I decided to reduce the dose of the medication. For example, if it was 5 milligram, instead of taking the 5 milligram twice a day, I decided to take 2.5 milligram. You know, sometimes it could be together, it could be, the 5 milligram can be one tablet. You can split it in half. So I decided to do that. So I was taking half of the dose they prescribed to me, and I wrote the doctor. Please hear me well. I wrote the doctor and I said, hey, doctor, the dizziness that I've been complaining about, based on this research, and I attached the research to it, to the message, that it's proven that that medication make people extremely dizzy when the dosage is high. And the dose you gave me is high, so maybe that's why I'm feeling the dizziness. So if I reduce the dosage, I want to see how it goes. As a matter of fact, I use the lower dosage for some days before I was writing him, because I want to see if it works or if it's something else. So when I reduced the dosage, immediately the dizziness stopped and I was okay. So I report to him that, hey, based on my research, my dizziness could be caused by the dosage you were giving me that my body cannot take. So when I reduce it for 3 days now, the dizziness disappeared. So I would like to inform you that I believe this is the dose I should be taking now. That's what I wrote the doctor. And if you know, most of the time the doctor don't see your message, it's the nurse who will see it first. So the nurse, I don't know if the doctor told her to write me or she decided to write me the message herself. The nurse wrote me, and in all capital letters, the message, her message to me was all in capital letters. And then she said, you must take the dosage the doctor prescribe you, or the medication the doctor ordered you. That's the word she used. She used the word ordered. The doctor ordered you to take that medication. You should take it. You should not make changes to the medication. You should follow the order of your doctor. All in capital letter. And she was using the word ordered. I know doctor order medication, and that's the word they use generally. But it's my body, man. I'm the only deciding factor in the medication I take. You, the doctor, your role is to find the best medication with less problem to my body, because a medication world, but they have a lot of side effects. You to decide in this world that we are in with different medication, the best possible medication that treats me and that with less side effect. That's your job. But when you prescribe it to me, I'm the deciding factor. Either I take that medication or not. Either I take it a lower dose or a higher dose. That's clear, right? Because it's me, not you. If I take it lower and something happens, they're not going to blame you because I take it lower. If I take higher, something happens, they're not going to blame you. They'll go by what you prescribe. And if the patient do otherwise, it's a responsibility of the patient. So the nurse wrote me that message with all capital letter. You must follow what the medication the doctor order you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, sir. Oh, sir. I didn't respond right away because already the nurse message got me mad. Because, number one, it should show them that I'm a good patient. I'm informative in a point where I went and do researches on my side about the medications I'm taking. And number two, I respect them enough to come up and tell them what I find. And I'm informing them that, okay, based on this research, which I attach the research or the doctor's information that prove what I'm saying. And I didn't attach it, but I expressed to them that when I started using the lower dose of the medication, the dizziness disappear. So what else can they do? What can they say that I did wrong? So after I catch up myself, because when you're angry, you have to know how to control yourself, so you don't act under the impulse of the anger. So I waited for some days to cool off and make sure I don't go off on that nurse or whatever. And after I cool off, I wrote them and I say, number one, something we need to understand. I wrote the nurse, because the nurse said, the doctor said to tell you. That's what the nurse said. So when I responded, I know it's the doctor's email anyway. The nurse just generally the person to read it first. So I say, Doctor such and such, I saw your message, and we need to understand something. Number one, I am the only deciding factor in what medication I put in my body. I am the only deciding factor, not you. And I explained to them that your role is to give me the best medication possible with the less side effect, and consider my complaints and take the appropriate action. I'll be telling you that I'm dizzy for some days, some weeks now, and you didn't think of reducing the dosage, and I find out that reducing the dosage is a solution. And I brought it to you, and I'm telling you after I reduce the dosage, everything is fine. So your response to me is for me to be taking the dose you prescribe? No, it doesn't work like that. So that doesn't show me that you are, I'm not going to say the person is not a good doctor, because they qualify, like I'm saying. But that doesn't show me that you are concerned about my life. But dizziness can lead to so many bad things. Constant dizziness. And I brought you the research and everything, and I proved to you that after I reduced the dose for some day, everything worked well. You shouldn't have anything to say. Be like, okay, go by that or whatever. So I respond to them and I say, I'm the only deciding factor. And then I say, that language of writing to me in all capital letters, and with the expression that the doctor ordered me, and I should follow the instruction of the order of the doctor and all that. Do not use that language to me again. Do not. Because I'm the only deciding factor of the medication. If you play your role well and you give me a medication that worked for me in the first place, I don't have to be doing my research in the first place. I don't have to be having these symptoms in the first place. But when I told you what I told you, that's not the way to respond. Okay, that's why when I went in today, after that exchange of messages, I was ready to protect myself. Do you hear what I say? Because the fact that I respond to that like that, they can decide to mess me up and prove that I'm a terrible person, or I'm a violent, or I'm abusive, or whatever. So when I go to the nurse office, because the nurse will see you before the doctor, right? She can make up a story. For example, let's say I call her the B word. Or she can say, you cuss me out, or you use the F word, or she can, I don't know, anything can happen when people are angry at you, when people don't like the way you talk to them, which I was right to defend myself based on what they did. But just to make sure they don't try, because that message can go to the general office and they can be like, what's going on? And the nurse can lie that I'm a rude guy. The last time I came, I talked to her like this, but there's no proof, right? So now that I went to the office, she can create a scene to say, oh, I did this to her or whatever. I don't know. Remember, you have to protect yourself just in case. So that's why I recorded it. But thank God everything went well. And when she came there, she was polite. And I was polite back. Remember, I was recording. And then until she left, no problem. And the doctor came. Because sometimes the doctors would defend the nurses. They don't want the nurses to feel bad that when there is a situation, they don't want to admit that the nurses didn't do right. So they will find a way to blame you, the patient. You're the victim. They want to blame you. So I recorded the doctor also. But when he came to, none of them mentioned the situation that happened. They're just professional. They're very nice. They took care of everything they had to do. And then I finished, I left. So after I left the office, I can delete that message. But at least I'm safe there. After I met them, nothing bad happened. Okay, now let me talk to black people. When you are black in America, maybe in Europe too, because black are minority over there, but I live in America, I'm talking about America. When you are black in America, know that the fact that you are black, it makes you the lower person in every situation. Did you hear what I just said? The fact that you are black, when you are dealing with white, or the fact that you are a minority, you might not be black, you might be Hispanic or whoever, Asian or whatever. The fact that you are the minority, black or Asian or whoever else, you are the lower person compared to the white. Did you hear what I just said? You are the lower person. Because if something happened, generally, I'm just talking about based on the past, based on history, what have been happening. When something happened, they will believe the white over you, the black. Because they paint us as terrible, they paint us easily as violent, they paint us easily as criminal and liars and all that. So the burden of proof is on you, the black person. In this case, it doesn't matter if you, the black, you are the supervisor and the white is a worker, or if you, the black, you are the employer and the white is the employee. Is that a situation I like to affirm that that's what it is? No. But is that what it is? Yes. You have to learn between what is ideal and what is the real. What is the real and what is the ideal? They may not match. In America, they say black have the same right, but is that right? Is that true? Is that true in all cases? Up to now, 2024, it's not the case in many times, many situations. I'm sure you have watched that video where a white cop stopped a white woman, and then the white cop told the white woman to get her ID card, to show him her ID card. And the white woman said, "It's in my purse. Can I take it?" And the white cop said, "Take it." What is the problem? The white woman said, "I'm sorry, but I saw that you've been shooting people. When you ask them for the ID card, they want to grab it, you'll be shooting them. So I don't want you to shoot at me." And the white cop said, "Who do we shoot when they try to get the ID card? It's black people. We don't shoot white people." And I heard that the cop was fired and everything. But that just to show you that when you are black, the situation is different. This white cop is telling that a white woman that we only shoot at black people, not white people. Is that what the society I want to live in? No. Is it still worse like before? No, it has got a lot better. But still, up to 2024, racism still dominates in America. You go to court, the white can lie on you and paint you as horrible. The judge will just believe it. I heard a famous defense lawyer in California, I forgot his name now. Famous defense lawyer. He said, he's white. He's white now. He said, when there is a situation with a white person, especially if it's a woman and she's pretty, she's blonde, whatever that woman tell the judge, they will believe it over you. That's why he said he's white. So pretty much you have to protect yourself. Does that mean things will be like that? No. But find a way to protect yourself. For example, you have that situation, you black, you have that situation with the white. Find ways to have evidence. Record yourself, record something. If video you can do, record video. At least audio or whatever. So in case the white decide to mess you up, you have something to protect yourself, to prove to them that, hey, she's lying or whatever. Again, that's not the ideal place I want to live in or anybody want to live in, but that's the reality. Until maybe one day, God make it where there won't be white and black problem anymore and we all be treated equal across the board. But remember also that most of the time, the upper chain of command or the people to make the decision, they are white. They are white. So you, the black, you can easily lose if those people want to follow the color of the skin versus the character or versus the reality of the situation. So you need to protect yourself. Thank you. Bye-bye.